promote white guilt is to promote the stolen generation of Westernkind, and two wrongs can never make a right. The stolen generations refers to Aboriginal children removed from their families and thus cut off from their heritage and cultural ties. So, how exactly is the promotion of white guilt akin to the stolen generations? White guilt in members of Westernkind leads to manifestations of mental trauma, such as depression, anxiety, PTSD symptoms, and drug addiction, etc. In the worst of the cases, this white guilt, this anti-whiteism within members of Westernkind will actually lead to the ultimate and last form of white flight, which is suicide. In the same way that the stolen generations cut off generations of youth, children, from their families, from their heritage, from a connection to their race and their specific tribe within their ethnic group, their language of their tribe, the dances, the art, the culture, etc. Many argue, and most agree, not many would disagree, that this has led to a rise in criminal behaviour, again the same types of symptoms and mental inflictions and traumas that we see due to white guilt in members of Westernkind. A disconnection from a people, or from your people's culture, from your people, from who you are, is a disconnection from your own identity. It's a disconnection from self. And white guilt is taking this disconnection, cutting off from family ties, from cultural ties, from heritage, that was the negative side effects, the suffering, the generational trauma, that came from stolen generations for Aboriginal people. White guilt is this, plus it is self-hatred on top of this. It's as if taking Aboriginal children in stolen generations, and then as well teaching them non-stop, every moment of every day, that their people are evil, all the wrongs of the earth are because of their people, all the problems in the world, all the poverty, the suffering of all peoples is because of them and their people and their people's culture and their people's languages. That's the problem with everything, and that they have to hate themselves 100%, otherwise they're contributing to the evil and being a part of the problem. They have to erase themselves from existence to do the right thing, to do away with the evil that they are a part of. So, white guilt is not only stolen generations, a cutting off from, and it's instead of physically taking white children from their parents and having them raised in a separate, different culture that's not their own, to cut them off, it's instilling their parents with anti-whiteism from birth, and it's happened for generations, so that they're cut off from their family and their heritage and a love and a knowledge and a respect for their ancestors and their race in their own family home. You see, Aboriginals, they still have this in their family homes. They still have a connection to their tribe. They still have some respect, some honor for their ancestors, for their culture, for their people. And so when they are connected to their families, to their people, they can be nurtured by the spirit of their ancestors, by their elders, and their wisdom, their culture can be passed on for new generations. But in Westernkind, in white folk, members of Westernkind, we have been conditioned with anti-whiteism and white guilt to the point where we cut our own children off and ourselves off from our own culture and languages and ancestors, etc. So we don't have to be physically removed, like in a stolen generation for the Aboriginal people, because they have strong family ties, strong culture. So they have to be physically removed for them to be cut off from that. In white people, the children don't have to be removed from the family. The family ties are cut by the family. There is no strong bond, there is no passing down of culture and heritage. Because of the anti-whiteism and the white guilt, which teaches members of Westernkind that culture, their heritage, their ancestors are evil and that they have to be erased. So that is how white guilt is the stolen generation of white people or Westernkind, members of Westernkind. And it's done in a psychological manner, in a way where we're cut off from our culture, our folk, our race, our tribes, our tribal languages and mythologies, etc., our elders, etc. We're cut off from all of this at a psychological level, not at a physical level. So again, children aren't physically removed like stolen generation, but all members of Westernkind, through being bombarded and traumatized through the psychological abuse of white guilt, cut themselves off and cut their own children off, etc., from their family ties, from their culture, from their elders, from a love and respect for their race and ancestors, and an effort to protect the well-being of the new generations, of the youth, and to pass down and pass on culture and enrichment and enliven the next generations with purpose and meaning. If you want to learn more about anti-whiteism, how white guilt has been inflicted in members of Westernkind to create this stolen generation of Westernkind, then check out nowhiteguilt.org or jump on our Aussie Go Free Club Discord or Facebook group, and together we'll go free of white guilt. Take it easy.